Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic. Alyssa's party was nice.
Huh? What'd you say?
Alyssa's party was nice.
Too long, didn't listen.
You seem to have a problem listening to what I'm saying.
I'm mostly just mocking the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's become a huge problem.
Especially prominent on social media.
But when you don't listen to somebody, but you try to carry on a discussion about what they said, how? How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you actually have a discussion if you're only, like, babbling away about what you want to talk about?
It's like...
It's why I don't interrupt when you get, like, we're podcasting and you really, like, get into a rant. You have all these things you want to say because you're ranting, and you don't care what I have to say because it's not a discussion, it's a rant. So I don't interrupt, I just let you rant. That's not a discussion.
But times like this are a discussion.
Exactly.
And here's what I was going to say to you. So let me give the first example of the kind of problem that you run into, because we're going to have a lesson tonight on why not listening to people is a problem. Okay? So it's even worse on social media because, let's be real, bro, it's written for you. The hell's wrong with you if you can't read the thing that's written for you?
Too long, didn't read.
Stupid. Anyway. Yeah, this makes me mad. So, all right, you say, oh, the new house is over there down that street on the left.
Okay.
And then I say to you,
left.
No, you're wrong. It's not on the right. What are you talking about? It's on the right. It's not on the right. And you know why I'm arguing that? Because I'm assuming that your position is going to be that house is on the right. And so I'm going to just make that your position because I didn't even listen to you. Meanwhile, I'm arguing with you against an issue that you agree with me on.
Now, in political conversations, these are the people who don't listen are the people who tend to spew out bullshit like Trumpanzee, libtard, blah, 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 blah,
and you know
blah.
What? They've tried to clean up their act by saying Trump supporters.
Sometimes.
And what kills me is apparently in this world, I didn't know this, but apparently in this world, if you're for a Democrat, you're against Trump. And if you're for Trump, you're against the Democrat.
What if
now,
I just think they're all idiots?
Take that a step further. If you believe the Democrat, then Trump's a liar. And if you believe Trump, the Democrat's a liar. There's no middle ground with these people.
Do you want to know what the real truth is? They're all liars. All of them. They're all lying to everybody about 98% of things.
Correct. And, anyone who listens to this show on a regular basis knows that I'm extremely consistent. I drive her crazy on some issues, but one of the reasons she has a hard time, totally getting on my case about it is because she has to admit it's consistent with my system of beliefs. And, one of the things that doesn't fit my system of beliefs is people who don't acknowledge the other person's position. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you. That doesn't make me stupid. It doesn't make you stupid.
It's like the copywriter lady that I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, that I made friends with in that group because she said something and I politely disagreed with her. And then she said something about how she doesn't really want to get into a political discussion because people just digress into some lunacy. You know, we all know this happens. And I said something like, I always know at the end of a political discussion on Facebook, the people that I can like, because they're the people who come out on the other side and I still have respect for them.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't have, once you start insulting someone or saying that they're stupid or anything like that because their opinion differs from yours, the respect level just goes straight in the crapper.
Well, I will tell you that, like, you know, we kind of digress a little bit here. We'll get back to this in a second. But, like, the reason we're talking about this is that I have gotten away from Facebook for months.
Almost a whole year.
Occasionally, she'll point out something that she thinks is interesting, and I'll go look at it real quick. Or what she's taking and doing is screenshotting it and showing it to me, which I much prefer, actually. But of late, you know, during this pandemic, we're trying to pivot a little bit. And by pivot, I don't mean like go in a different direction, but I think we're like kind of trying to adjust our angle a little bit. You know, like
I think that
tweak the settings.
Adapt is a better word than pivot.
Yeah. And so I'm tasked to do some studying. And one of the things is a Facebook ad boot camp. Another one is Facebook and LinkedIn. It's 2 days Facebook, 2 days LinkedIn prospecting class. Mm-hmm. And then there's an Instagram class that has a Facebook group where most of the discussion takes place.
Okay.
And like literally what she's done, which is smart, is in the course she's turned off the comments.
Hey, is the one you were telling me about earlier the one that I sent you? The one you did the webinar last night for? Or the call?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you really got into that one. That's cool.
So, bottom line, I've had to been brought back into it. And I don't know why, but my Chrome was acting wonky. I just rebooted, so hopefully it fixes this. But I would go into Facebook, and I don't know the name of the group. It's not easy to just go right to the group. So, I type in facebook.com, and it hits the page. Then the notifications open up, and then the notifications close. Now, I admit I'm weak. When I see so-and-so mentioned you in a comment, I always know it's about one of these podcasts. And you know how I always know that? Because I don't go on Facebook, and I don't make comments on Facebook, and I don't make posts to Facebook unless they have to do with these podcasts. Now, that's not entirely true because my page publishes my videos for my business, but that's business stuff. And it kind of fits in what I'm about to say. So I'm doing all this stuff for work. I'm getting sucked into a Facebook discussion. And the first comment from the guy, we had the episode, Weaponized. And, you know, we make the suggestion, or I make the suggestion, that possibly coronavirus was a biological weapon that somehow got out.
Which is actually quite a popular opinion.
Before it was supposed to. And the response of this person, well, that's stupid.
Yes, he is.
And I'm like, what's stupid? You don't believe in biological weapons? And if you believe in biological weapons, then why do you have such a hard time believing coronavirus might have been a biological weapon? He turns the conversation from whether or not it's a biological weapon to, well, you know, I'm sure you feel like a big man going out and around town not wearing a mask and risking your life and everyone else's life by not wearing a mask because, you know, you're the type of person who thinks that normal citizens with no training should carry guns to defend us from other crazy shooters, but normal people like those same people shouldn't have to wear masks because they're not trained to do so.
That covered a lot of topics all at once. Like, he touched a lot of weird issues there.
Yeah, and I was like, what are you talking about? First of all, never owned a gun, never gonna own a gun. Fully support people's rights to have a gun. I would die for your right to have a gun.
You're just anti-gun in your home.
I don't want one.
Which is cool.
Don't need a gun. You want to come at me? I'm not afraid. How about you act like a man, put your gun down, and come fight me face to face? I may be old, but I'm strong.
He's feisty at best.
And I will tear you apart. So back to the man. What bothers me, and this is something I have to learn, and it's why I'm not on Facebook anymore, is you're right. When someone digresses and starts calling you stupid, and he basically did that. I'm an idiot right-wing wacko because I don't agree with his opinion that masks should be mandatory.
Okay.
But as we've talked about many, many times, it's like this. Mitchell could state his opinion, and I could say, I don't really agree. But it doesn't mean I think he's 100% wrong.
Right.
Maybe I think Mitchell went a step too far. Maybe I don't think he went far enough. Doesn't mean I disagree with everything he said. Just means I don't think his conclusion is correct.
But even if it does mean you disagree with 100% of what he said, it doesn't make him an idiot, and it doesn't make you an idiot.
Well, exactly. So he shouldn't have done that. But then,
because he's an idiot.
But then he did it again, and that pushed my buttons. And I just went, oh, really? So, let me warn you, after the third time you've done this, that purposely offending people in this group is against the rules and could get you removed, but will definitely get you muted. And then I said, so stop being a moron. He comes back and goes, hey, wait, I thought insulting people was grounds to get muted. And I go, well, since I'm an admin, I'm not going to get muted. You know why? Because I know that the other admins all agree with me that you're a moron.
Well,
I should not have stooped to that level.
No. So now you can have a mute by not going on Facebook for 28 days, okay?
I'm not going on Facebook for anything but business. And I figured out how to get around it, people. If any of you have the same problem as me, remember we said we were teaching you something tonight. Go to the group. Shorten your browser so you can still see your background. Grab the URL, drop it on your desktop. Creates a shortcut directly to the group. Now do your second group you have to go to. Now do your third group you have to go to. Now you're done. Those are your 3 business groups. You're having your trainings. Now you can go directly to them. But this guy right here, if that problem keeps happening, I'm literally going to start Facebook. I've already decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to start Facebook. While it's loading, I'm going to walk away. Okay. And I'm going to come back. That way when it flashes the notifications on the screen for me, I won't be there to see them.
Well, and before we get too far out of the topic we were on, now and nobody can say that I'm being unfair because now you have a 28-day mute too.
I better not have.
You don't. Not a real one, but you're not going to go in there for 4 weeks and you're not going to say a damn word.
I'm not going to go in there for 100 weeks. I don't want to. That's the funny part is, like I told you guys in another episode.
You're self-muting.
I don't post those things on Facebook. I pay someone to post
It's like self-isolating, but Facebook-wise.
So, yeah. Interesting. That people don't listen. And here's the problem, okay? In my comment to him, first of all, in our episode, we talked about it being potentially being a biological weapon. And I even said, I'm not really 100% convinced of that, but it sounds very logical that it could be, okay? And I go to him and say, well, you're just going to dismiss it as stupid, but do you believe in biological weapons? Yes or no? Why did I ask that question? Do you know? It was to narrow it down. If he doesn't agree with biological weapons, there's no point in having the discussion.
Well, to be fair, there was no point in having the discussion anyway because he just said, too long, didn't read.
Well, he did that after. This was my first message to him.
Oh.
I was explaining how we got to that point.
Oh, I see.
And that's why what I'm trying to do is correlate it back to the topic of not listening. He didn't listen. He didn't read what I said. I never said, by the way, that I don't wear face masks. I said I think it should be people's choice to wear face masks. Shouldn't be forced to do it. And I'm the type of person, because I believe that my rights end where your rights begin. I got to drop the F-bomb, people. I'm sorry. Talk about fucking consistency. I hate the damn masks. I despise the masks. I think the masks are unconstitutional as hell. But I'm going to be consistent in my stance that my rights end where your rights begin, and I'm going to wear the damn mask when it's going to potentially infringe upon your rights if I don't. That's consistency. I dare any one of you out there to be that consistent. It isn't easy to do things that you completely do not agree with on every possible level. But when you run it through the filter, it reminds me of when Ellen told us to run things through the board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
It works because when you run it through the filter, you want to say, fuck you, Costco. I'm not wearing a damn mask when I'm in your store. Your store's too damn hot. You want me to wear a mask? Cool that place off. I'm not wearing the mask. But no, that would basically be being a hypocrite because I'm basically saying my rights matter more than your rights. But that's exactly what that guy thought because he made an assumption, is that I was that kind of person that would just say, screw you, I'm not wearing the mask. You hate it, but you wear it.
I've given myself asthma attacks wearing the mask.
You and Ash both.
Multiple times.
You and Ash both.
So,
my favorite contradiction of all of you people who say, listen to the CDC, listen to the government, listen to the State of California Health Department. State of California Health Department puts out a thing, do not exercise with face masks on.
Right.
Then California Department of Health puts out an edict for you gyms who opened, despite our warning not to, make sure your members are wearing masks while they're working out. These are the bozos everyone wants us to listen to.
Well,
Bozos who tell you don't wear a mask while working out, but if you're at a gym and working out, wear a mask.
that gym that Ash showed us, where like everybody was in their own little gym stall using the treadmills, was the freaking bomb.
It was kind of fun.
I want those to actually exist.
No one's going to do that. It's millions of dollars. But you have to pay attention, people. And I'm going to tell you something. If we're all sitting in this room together right now, and let's say it's a party, or maybe it's a Super Bowl party, something's going on, right? And we're all here, and we're having a good time, and we're kind of, joyful and boastful and whatever, all the fulls, right? And here we are, and I say, someone says, Trump, blah, 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 blah. And I say, now you got to be fair, blah, blah. And I say my thing. I can understand you misunderstanding some of what I say because you have no way to replay it. But my God, people, before you sit down and type the comment, maybe you need to take the habit of reading the message 10 times before you respond.
That would be too easy.
Because if you do that, then you're listening. Then you're not going to make... And then here's the big one, people. The second thing that gets coupled with not listening is making assumptions.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem.
Well, because that's how it leads you to, like I've said many times before, person wants to argue with you. They don't want to hear your position. They're going to make your position something it's not. So, like I said before, they talk about Trump and I defend Trump. Well, suddenly I'm a Trump supporter. Well, maybe on that issue I support Trump. But see, a broken clock is right twice a day.
Well, yeah, he's bound to get some shit right
Exactly.
once in a while.
I mean, I know people laugh about how he's been through bankruptcies and whatever, but let's be real. To me, a guy who's been through that many bankruptcies and still has businesses that are making him money,
yeah,
he's not stupid. He may not be the brightest bulb. You know what his problem is? His problem is his ego. His problem is his ego.
Yeah.
What was the first thing in his inauguration? He had to talk about what a big crowd he had, even though he didn't. But he needed that. It had to be a big crowd. And then, it's the best economy we've ever had. It's the most, I heard him say this today, the highest number of black employment in history.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, by the way, isn't that interesting?
Speech.
According to the left, he's a racist. But the racist somehow managed to give more employment to black people than anyone else.
Ooh, go racist.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But that's why they want to ignore what you say and turn your words into something they're not. Because they want to argue against you, even though it's not your stance. Like I said, me and the mask is the perfect example, because if you know me well enough, you know that I'm going to be against those masks. But if you don't know me all the way, you're going to think I'm going to act out on that.
The government of Canada came out today.
Yeah, tell this one.
Said the masks are extremely dangerous for people with breathing problems, anxiety, and autism.
Tell them why autism.
Because it creates a difference in their routine. And like the one lady who was quoted said that the thing that sets her autistic son off the most is going to the doctor or the dentist because they're wearing those masks. So wearing a mask in his day-to-day life triggers him to have the same kind of reaction as he would have at the dentist.
That's interesting. And isn't it true that autistic people kind of have almost an OCD type of reaction to things?
They have a different way of associating things than people that don't have autism.
But that's like OCD people are like the same way. They got to tap. I'm going to leave now. I have to tap twice on the coffee table and once on the doorknob before I leave. And I'll never leave unless I do that. That's OCD. And I think
the experts on autism say that people who are autistic need a routine and they need to stick to it.
Right. And that's why. Because that makes them feel comfortable and secure.
Right.
And when you throw in a weird thing like a mask, it gives them anxiety. But you didn't go as far as what you told me, which was that they're killing themselves because of it.
Yep. And then people with anxiety are having severe panic attacks and ending up hyperventilating and passing out in strange situations.
So here's the thing.
And then
all the people saying the economy is way less important than one individual's life.
Why is your mask more important than one individual's life?
Exactly.
So the government of Canada has now said that they would like people who don't feel comfortable wearing a mask for various medical reasons to just be respectful and distance themselves from others while in public. But that they're not going to mandate anybody to wear a mask.
Wait, did you just tell me that they asked adults to be adults?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you a flaw with that, and it's going to surprise you that I feel this way.
People aren't adults and they won't succeed?
I was just at Costco today. There was nothing but adults there. There were no kids there. I saw 0 kids that could walk. They were all little tiny munchkins that were there. And there was maybe 10 of those. Okay? The rest was all adults. And Costco, they're trying to do their part to kind of keep people socially distanced. And you know what? I think that's a stupid thing too, but whatever. If it makes people feel better, you feel better about that, and that's your shiny object, go for it. I don't care. I'll go with you on the trip. But they did this thing where there's like a back area, and there's like racks to your left. There's racks up against the back wall. There's a row to your right, and then in the middle between the wall and the row, they stack paper goods, paper towels, toilet paper, those flushable butt wipes, baby wipes. There's all like kind of anything to do with your rear end and your tushy. It's right there,
and paper towel,
and then paper towel, and it's all right there. So they did a U. They did like a hook. You had to go straight, turn right, go all the way to the end, turn right, go to the second row, turn right, come all the way back out. And there's arrows painted on the floor with like tape. Put on the floor with tape. Arrow showing you the way. Big old sign. Entrance only. Big old sign. Exit only.
They should stand there with a super soaker.
Do you frickin' think adults can follow directions? No. They're all going down the wrong way. Now, I can forgive that in normal times that the store did something, in quotes, weird and made you go one way down an aisle. But all you're hearing about is how you need to stay socially distant and wear your mask and don't breathe on people and don't touch people and don't shake hands and don't do this. And you're not going to think, oh, gee, I shouldn't walk down this aisle and crowd out all these people.
It's just like the people at the farmer's market. They made a very clear entrance and a very clear exit. People were still leaving through the entrance like lunatics.
And entering through the exit.
And people were still parking everywhere despite the fact they were told to park only in the parking structure.
And that's why I say Canada's thing, while I admire them for saying that, is going to be a massive failure because while adults should be able to be adults, for some reason, adults are assholes.
I will tell you, after living in both places, Canadians do tend to be a bit more respectful on those kinds of things.
So, bottom line, people, because this is making me tired.
What's the bottom
It's
line?
people like that person that killed Facebook for me. Killed it. I used to love Facebook. I lived on Facebook. It was always open on my phone, the app. Now Instagram took its place. And
Well,
that's always open.
Still owned by
And I
Facebook.
like it because it's kind of La La Land. And it's just pictures and pretty doggies, pretty kitties, pretty ladies, handsome men, young people, old people.
Let's be real.
Weird products, really weird products, even weirder products. I've seen some weird crap on Instagram. Weird crap.
Now that he's digressing into the pit of Instagram.
Then Twitter, I love Twitter. Twitter, shout out, Twitter. And then there's LinkedIn, ho-hum. It's fun, but I'm still learning it and I don't understand it totally, and it's weird to navigate and they need a lot of help.
Now that you've listed every social
So I've listed
media
every
platform.
social media that I actually use. I'm still don't understand TikTok. Someone explain TikTok to me. I don't get it.
It's not going to make sense to you. You're not 15.
Well, but Gary Vaynerchuk loves it.
He
says
loves
he wants
recording
to be-
little tiny short
he
videos.
says
It's
he
what
wants
he's
to
always
be-
done.
He says he wants to be the biggest TikTok star ever. So, please, people, read the posts before you comment on any social media platform you're on. Because when you don't, it's painfully obvious that you haven't. And then, you said it before. Don't do the too long, didn't read bull crap. If you're not going to read something someone takes the time to write, then don't have the discussion. End of story. And with that, do you have anything to add over there, Maniac?
No, your list of all the social media platforms kind of put me to sleep. Good night, everyone.
I love social media. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.